of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo.
Good evening, guten Morgen, guten Mittag und guten Abend. Herzlich willkommen zu unser INCRadio Central Europe Satellite Studio. Welcome to our INCRadio Central Europe Satellite Studio, and thank you for joining us this evening. My name is Sister Frances Manalili from the local of Frankfurt, Germany, and I'm happy to be here tonight as your host. And time check, we have 7:01 p.m. Central European Time. And our topic for today is a very heartfelt topic, and it's from mom to mom, heartfelt advice for everyday life. And for that, we have invited our dear lovely mothers who are joining us this evening. And let's introduce them to you. Let's start with Mrs. Malu. Hello, and thank you for joining us this evening.
Oh, hello, Francis, and thank you so much for having me today. And I'm joining you from the Philippines. The time it's 2 minutes after 2 o'clock in the morning. And nice to be with you, still connected with INCRadio Central Europe.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Malu, for being with us here despite being very early in the morning there in the Philippines. We're very happy to have you here tonight. And let's move on and also introduce to you our second lovely mother who is here with us as well. And it's Rachel. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Hi, Francis. Thank you for having me once again here on Answer Radio. It's a pleasure to be back again. Greetings to all our viewers tonight.
Thank you so much, Rachel, also for you being here tonight. And we're very excited to hear your experiences and advices as well as Mrs. Malu regarding our topic for tonight. But before we move on, we have prepared a icebreaker game, which will be revealed by the help of our tech crew. Okay. So for our icebreaker game, let's see what we have here. Okay. It's the Let's Play the Mom Survival Kit Riddle Challenge. Okay, so let's start with the game. So for our first slide, I believe, yes, we have the instructions for those who are not familiar with the game. So I will read a riddle describing a mom essential. So the panelists take turns guessing what item it is. And after the correct answer is revealed, the panelists who guessed it shares why it's a must-have in their motherhood journey. And then we'll repeat with new riddles until all panelists have answered. Okay, so let's start with our first riddle. So, and it's I come in handy for messes big and small, from sticky hands to spills in the hall. Moms keep me close, I'm never too far, in purses and cars and in diaper drawers. Okay, what could it be? Okay, so we have thoughtful base expressions. So let's again show the riddle, please. So, okay. Let's do it again. I come in handy for messes big and small, from sticky hands to spills in the hall. Moms keep me close, I'm never too far, in purses, in cars, and in diaper jars. Okay. Wives. Okay, Mrs. Malu saying wipes, and I've seen Rachel's also agreeing to that. So let's reveal the riddle. Is it wipes or our panelists correct? Okay. Wet wipes.
Yes.
Correct. Okay, great job. So this was our first riddle. Let's continue with our second. Okay. Those riddles are very yeah. Okay, let's move on. I wake you up when sleep is rare. A warm embrace in a cup, I'm always there, morning, noon, or in between. Without me, some days feel unseen. What could it be? Okay, let's maybe ask Rachel, what could it be? What do you think?
Coffee. Let me see.
Uh, I would say maybe coffee and feeding in between.
Okay, if you're feeding in between, Mrs. Malu, would you agree to that?
Oh,
Is it what you also are thinking?
yes. That includes coffee.
Yes, okay, coffee. Okay, so let's reveal the answer to the second riddle. Coffee, correct. Coffee is the answer. Very nice.
Experienced
Okay,
mothers.
exactly. But okay, and for our third riddle, we have can be soft and I can be loud. I calm little ones and make moms proud. From bedtime tunes to cleaning beats, I help you dance through daily feats. What could it be? Okay, I see it. Yeah, Rachel, you can
Uh,
answer.
Maybe lullabies or songs.
Lullabies or songs? Mm-hmm. Interesting, yes. Okay, and Mrs. Malu, what do you think? Yes.
Oh, yes. And that is part of music. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely part of music. So let's reveal the answers, please.
Okay.
Music. Great job. Okay. So the answer is music. You're doing very well in our riddles. So let's see if there is another riddle that we have prepared. Okay. The next one is I need no voice, yet I am heard. I need no place, yet I bring peace. Moms turn to me day and night for love, for strength, for guiding light. Oh, okay. This is a bit tricky. What could it be? Maybe let's read it out a second time. I need no voice, yet I am heard. I need no place, yet I bring peace. Moms turn to me day and night for love, for strength, for guiding light. What are your thoughts on this riddle? Let's start with Mrs. Malu.
Um, I'm still thinking.
Okay,
Sorry.
let's maybe ask Rachel, what do you think it could be?
I'm also thinking of Francis, but it reminds me of hugs.
Hugs. Oh, hugs. Yes, it might be hugs. Okay, let's maybe reveal the answers. Is Rachel correct? I think it seems like oh prayer. Closer, but it's prayer. Good job, Rachel and Mrs. Malu. So, do we have a last riddle? Let's look if we have a last riddle, maybe that is not too hard. Okay. Okay, I believe that was the last riddle. So let's move on then with our topic conversation. I hope everyone had fun in this little icebreaker game and is now ready to, I guess, talk about our topic. And it's about from mom to mom, heartfelt advice for everyday life. And for that, we have invited our dear panelists, our lovely mothers who are joining us this evening and we're very um, eager to hear their stories and experiences. So let's start with Mrs. Malu. So can you tell us um, from mom to mom, what's the from yes from the mothers here? So what's the best piece of advice you have ever received from another mother?
Okay. From another mom here, that would be my own mother. And she really gave me a lot of good advice that up to now I still make good use of the pieces of advice I got from her. Oh, by the way, I have an only child and she's already married. I had my child when I was 37 years old. I got married late. I was already in my 30s. So 4 years before, 4 years after I got married was when I got my daughter. So the best piece of advice that I've ever received from my mother was, all right, one day you'll become a mother and remember this, the importance of education. We may not have a lot in terms of monetary possessions, but if you have education, that is something that will help you in your life. You can always take it with you and use it. And then she would usually say these quotations to me: where there's a will, there's a way. Meaning to say, if you really want to reach your ambition, or if you're set into reaching your goals, you will always find ways. Okay. You will always find ways to achieve them. And then another one is, as you grow up, try to paddle your own canoe. Don't depend on others. Stand on your own, do your very best. And of course, that would need having education. Now, she would define education as not simply something that you receive in institutions like universities, schools, and so on. We always say it's easy to have diplomas, or you can have your diplomas and degrees, and but to say that you are educated, that's a different thing. Somebody who may not have graduated from a university can still be described as being educated, depending on how that person thinks and how that person conducts herself, and how she shares her knowledge and her experience for the betterment of another person. Okay. And of course, my mother would always tell me that always pray, ask for God's help, ask for God's help. Okay. Whenever you're faced with challenges. And one assurance that she has also given me, I'm always here. You can tell me everything that you want to share, including challenges, problems, whatsoever. I am your mother, your disciplinarian, your educator, but I can also be your friend. Okay. So those are some of the pieces of advice that I'd always remember coming from my own mother, and they have worked. They have worked. So another lesson is that listen to your parents, listen to them.
Thank you for sharing your advice as well that you have received from your own mother, Mrs. Balu. Very inspiring, also, right? Coming from your own mother. And yes, like you have said, it's also very important to listen to your parents, right? Which is also very important if we look into the future and might become parents ourselves, right? So, getting back, we'll be back uh, with you, Mrs. Malou, but let's also ask Rachel the same question since you're also a mother. Let's first start off. How many children do you have, Rachel?
Yes, Francis, I have two beautiful daughters that God has blessed me with.
Oh, cute. So Rachel has two beautiful daughters. So, very nice. Can you tell us then, having two daughters, what is the best piece of advice that you have received from another mom?
So one of the best piece of advice, I also agree with Sister Malu, coming from my mother's advice as well is to study hard, and education will be important for my future as well as my future family that I will have, and to always work hard. And I understand now, being a mother, what my mother had given to me as a piece of advice, which I will also want to carry on and teach my daughters. And also another piece of advice coming from another mother who's one of my friends is to cherish each moment with your children. Time will pass by really fast, and to always be prayerful and always put God first in everything that you do.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts on this question, Rachel. And yes, also very inspiring and very true what you have mentioned, and Mrs. Malu, about education wise. And you have mentioned especially that we should always be prayerful, right? To put God always first, and also to seek for His guidance. And we have also a comment from Irene, Sister Irene Juliet Calvello, who's also a new mom to be, and she has commented, "Be patient with yourself. You and your baby are both learning new things each day." Hashtag Berlin. Very true. Said Sister Irene, thank you for sharing your thoughts with us as well in our YouTube live chat. And for our moms, we're very grateful and are also happy to hear about your own experiences and advices. You can also leave it, of course, in our YouTube live chat, and we will read them out during our broadcast as well. And yes, so with that said, we will move on. And yes, we would like to know, since moms are also often juggling with a million things at once, right? Um, how do you find a balance between taking care of your family and also making time for yourself now that, yes, you grew as a family, right? So let's stay with Rachel and also hear from your side.
Yes, Francis, being a mother is very challenging, but I've learned to uh, have a daily routine in which I make sure that I take care of the daily tasks, as well include time for my children. Um, each for each week, usually as a family, we'll also have time together, dinner where we'll go out to dinner or go shopping together. Um, but first of all, always like putting God first and asking for His guidance through going through each day. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Rachel, for your answer. Yes, we appreciate your thoughts on, yes, how you balance your family life, right, and also making time for yourself, like you have mentioned. You have also, you're not alone, but you have to take care of two other um, more, right? So your children, and you have mentioned that you do activities together as a family, which is also very important, right? Strengthening the bond for with each other as the children also grow up, right? I believe time flies by very fast, and they will, yes, also grow, grow, and that's also a very great way of strengthening the relationship with each other, having bonding time together, right? And like you have mentioned, seeking God's guidance in everything that you do. We will get back to you, Rachel, and also ask Mrs. Malu for her insights on this. How do you balance between taking care of your family, Mrs. Malu, and also making time for yourself? What's your way, Mrs.
Okay.
Malu?
Now, all right. As a mother, it's really very important to find time for yourself because you are the caregiver when the husband goes to work. Well, in my case, when my child was born and I was raising her as a child, and well, until she finally decided to get married. We were in Germany and we were in the Netherlands, and my husband was in the military. And you know what it is like to be in the military. We move around, and sometimes your husband would go to training and the wife would be left alone with a child. Yeah, of course, with support from the organization. So, anyway, so one way that I have found really very effective is that when I think of something, and usually, like things that I usually do that help me relax, I try to include my child and my husband without forcing any one of them. But you I needed, or I need even up to this time, to strategize my way of communicating everything so that they clearly understand the benefits that will be derived from the activity that we shall be doing. For example, reading, which is actually my favorite, one of my favorites. And fortunately, that is also my husband's number one hobby. And that has also become my daughter's number one hobby, reading. So I structure the environment, okay, at home. In every corner, there are materials to read, magazines, books, and so on. Okay. And then we'd go to the library to check out books or to just explore. Or we'd go to the bookstore. I'll tell my child, you know what? We're going to go on a tour. And this is one of your favorite places. You know, sometimes mothers, like Sister Rachel, you know this very well. You have to condition the mind, prepare everything. You have to structure it. It doesn't just, you don't just go there, but you have to structure it. You have a goal. All right. So in this case, I would like to introduce the love of reading and so on, the different types of books to my child. So I'll tell her, we'll go to the bookstore. And fortunately, we in the military in the US set up, we have a lot of books, you know, and in the libraries. So my daughter would come with me to the bookstore and she'd ask me, Mom, can I go there and read the books? And then sometimes, okay, she was already, oh, let's say 8, 9 or 6 years old, and she'd tell me, Mom, we don't have to buy these books. I already finished reading the book. Oh, okay. All right. See, um, yeah. So while I'm enjoying reading my own, and she's there, but of course supervised, and she learns how to behave in the library. Okay, she learns how to share, and she learns how to ask questions, and and she learns also the different types of books to read. Yeah, so it's the same thing in the library and in the bookstore, and that's what she does. So up to now, that's what she does. So no problem. I mean, that's one way that I take care of myself because I read a lot. I do a lot of research, and because I need information and physical fitness. So we'd go to the gym, or but I'd start at home again. Condition my daughter. She was then, I remember, 4 or 5. I'd follow the exercise videos, and then she'd join me. You know how children are, they love movements. So while she sees me doing the fitness activity, she's also having fun moving and doing the different movements that she sees in the video. Now, these are some ways. So, in other words, how do I balance in general? So, you think of different activities that you think everyone will enjoy it, or sometimes you just have to introduce it to them. You have to strategize or structure the way you present it. Okay. Hindi po pwedeng, oh, sama ka. Do not force them. Do not force them. Okay? But you have to prepare them. conditioned little by little. And that's why mothers, as they do that, Sister Rachel, I know you'll agree with me, you discover different ways of communicating with them. Yeah. You become so innovative and you become creative. And that is one of the benefits and one of the joys of being a mother. Okay. And I'm pretty sure for our viewers out there, just like what you said, who are watching us now, and those who are with us over there in Central Europe, they have a lot of ways to do that because Germany has a different setup. Mothers are also working. Okay. But in my case, I devoted my time. I didn't have to go outside and work. Yeah. And I took care of my child and the home. I was running my own home corporation, I'd say. That's how I ran my home while I was raising my child. I said, it's just like being a CEO. You have the Department of Nutrition, that means food preparation, which I really enjoyed. I learned how to cook. I learned how to, let's say, if you're cooking sinigang, make use of the vegetables that are there to be substitutes, to be the substitute to our own kangkong. You know kangkong? All right. Okay, then we call it water spinach, but you don't find that over there in Germany or in the Netherlands, except that you go to a special Asian store. So, for our viewers and listeners, share with us whatever experience you have. And so those who are entering motherhood, okay, embrace it, enjoy it. It is widening your experience, widening your knowledge, and you will be introduced to different perspectives on how you face life, on how you treat people. So that's it.
Thank you, Mrs. Malu, for sharing your experiences and also for, yes, sharing with us your way of also how you balance your family time and also your personal time. And you have mentioned, for example, that you would also go to the library since you would love to read, but also you would share at the same time your interest in reading, right? Visiting the library with your daughter who also enjoys reading herself. So that's also a great way of also spending time together, right? And also being educated, like also reading books, right, at a young age is also very beneficial for them. So thank you for sharing with us, Mrs. Malu. And we would also like to know, since motherhood teaches you a lot, right? And often through trials, I would say. So looking back, what's one lesson through your motherhood that you wish you had learned earlier? Let's yes, start with you, Rachel.
Yes, Francis, one lesson I wish that I had learned or knew before becoming a mother is how to deal how to deal with certain experiences, like with knowing how with the feeding the baby and with the sleep, how to balance everything, because at the same time you're trying to learn how it is to take care of your little one. At the same time, you're also trying to make sure that you're taking care of yourself. And I also wish I knew that everything won't be perfect at the first time. As a mom, you'll learn together with your little one, and it is a challenging but rewarding and wonderful experience to be a mother.
Thank you so much for sharing with us, Rachel. And yes, so yes, for especially to the new moms, right? Like you have mentioned, it's very new to them how to, yes, juggle, right, your personal time, also taking care of a newborn, baby, right? And doing the research and advices that you also receive from other mothers. So it's very new, right? So, what are your thoughts on that, Mrs. Malufi? Ask you the same question.
Well, I wish I had been told, and I wish I had been given the chance to practice it, you know, before getting into it, that babies have different sleeping patterns. They have different schedules, and that they'd sleep 2 hours and then they'd be awake. So, and then another 2 hours, you'd be awake too. Yeah, in my case, and I know for many of you out there, sometimes you're on your own, right? Who else will wake up for you? I mean, who else will take care of the child while it's crying? But you. So I wish I had been given the chance to practice that, but of course that was impossible. But nevertheless, this is not to scare those who are entering motherhood. It is part of the natural process, okay? And your patience is being tested, or you are developing it, okay? That is part of your of the process of growing up. And remember this, you were once a baby too. You never saw yourself that way, but now when you look at your own child, you can say, oh, perhaps I was like that. Had my mother not taken care of me, had she not had a lot of patience with me, or my aunts, I mean, perhaps, I don't know, I might not be the way I am now. I'm sorry. Excuse me. And another thing that I would like to say that I wish I had learned earlier in motherhood. Okay. Now, this is something important. We know that a lot of us want to have a home that is tidy, that is well organized, that is neat. This will change when you have a baby or babies, because much of your time will be devoted to this bundle of joy, okay, to this child. And as the child grows up, okay, she is discovering things. She become observant and so on and so forth. So it is normal. This is the normal situation. The toys are there, toys are here, and sometimes the food is there, the food is here. You see that's part of the environment of a baby, okay, or an infant. So don't be surprised, don't be shocked, don't get upset. If you are the type who is really so organized before entering motherhood, okay, be flexible. Be flexible. Would the question is, would you rather have a very, very organized home and yet have a child who is not able to move around and discover things and explore things because you try to keep things always in order, or prevent this child from touching that, or always lecturing on that child? Put your toys over there, put your toys over there, and so on. So have patience, teach them little by little, okay? And surround them with love. That's part of growing up. For all you know, your patience is being tested, your understanding. At the same time, you're discovering ways of communicating with your child again, teaching them what will benefit them later in the later stage of life.
Yes, thank you, Mrs. Malu, for yes, your input on how you yes, on the the lesson that you wish you had also learned earlier in your journey in the motherhood, right? You have mentioned that you should also be open-minded, right? To also be flexible is also a very important aspect, right? And if you could tell us, since you have also mentioned, and Rachel as well, that being a mother, or for those who are first time moms, right, it's a very new journey for you, and you also have um, different you will experience different things that you haven't prepared yourself first, right? So in those stressful situations, stressful days that you had encountered or are still encountering, maybe, um, how do you handle those stressful days or moments of doubt as a mother? Let's stay with you, Mrs. Malu.
Oh, for me, okay. The word stressful is not a regular member of my vocabulary. I would always say challenges are opportunities for further learning. Okay. I don't call a certain day, oh, it's been a stressful day. I'd be more specific by saying that we had a lot of things to do and we did our very best. Okay. I think it was in the 90s that this word stress and stressful became so popular. Growing up in the Philippines, we had to do a lot of things, multitask and so on. So we're used to that. It's part of our personality, and we consider them as part of our value system, working hard and adapting yourself to this, adjusting yourself to that, and being, what do you call this, resourceful, finding different ways of managing the challenges that you face in life. So, what I do is that just have a positive mindset and consider whatever is new to you to be a learning opportunity. This is an opportunity for you to discover other things, just like what I said earlier. This will pave the way for the different perspectives that you will need in life, because each one of us is unique. Each person is unique. Each person is special. And we are, let's say, uh, we, we, we have been influenced by our environment, by our belief system, or by what we believe in. Okay. But for us members of the Church of Christ, we know where we stand. Okay. And so I handle my day-to-day activities as like, oh, as welcoming opportunities for me to learn further. Okay, adapt myself to that, and keep yourself physically, mentally, spiritually healthy. So again, everyone out there, okay, perhaps you can think of another word to replace that word stress or stressful. Say, oh, this is another opportunity for me.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Malu, for sharing your thoughts on this and
Uh,
your views,
if I
right?
may add, Francis, yeah, and I'm sure Rachel would also agree that, you know, we always say that there are always two sides to a coin. What seems to be negative to you, okay, at first sight, then perhaps ask yourself, what could be the positive side to this? You know? So, and also, okay, there's the problem, you may say, or there's the challenge. What do we do next? What do we do about it? Okay, what are the possible solutions? All right.
Yes, very well said, Mrs. Malu. Yes, like you have mentioned, very right, Paul. In situations of handling stressful days, I would say how to really approach the situation, like you have mentioned, to really have a positive mindset, right? And especially that we should seek God and for His help and His guidance, right? Which is the most important thing for us members in the Church of Christ. So, of course, we would like to hear from Rachel's side. We know that you also had challenging and stressful days, right? So, we would like to hear your experiences. So, how did you handle those days and or moments of out as a mother?
Yes, Francis, I agree with uh, Miss Malu that having a positive outlook is one important aspect. And when you have a situation where it's stressful, I'll ask myself, okay, what can I do about this situation? Be flexible and work with the resources that I have to make the situation better. And also to take breaks, to remind myself to take a break, because it can get really stressful, and sometimes all you need is to take a little break, maybe taking a walk outside for even for 15 minutes to just de-stress and to make it better, and also to pray, to ask for God's guidance.
Very well said, Rachel. Thank you for giving us your thoughts on this, and also for just sharing with us how you handle those stressful days, right? Like you have mentioned, taking a break is very important as well, right? Just having or clearing your mind, right? Going out on a walk, like you have mentioned, is also very important. Yes, that you also need for yourself. And thank you for sharing with us. We will get back to you. And I see here we have many comments in our YouTube live chat. So let's read them out together. We have from Sister Annalene Luhmann, and she commented, I am a mother of two, but it doesn't mean that I'm just taking care of my children. I have a husband too. Na need din alagaan. Hashtag Berlin and hashtag myself. Thank you, Sister Annalyn, for sharing your comment. And then we have another comment from Sister Lisette Augustine, and she commented, good evening, po Kamalu. Thank you so much, beautifully said, especially now with media, they put in everyone's mind about feeling burned out and stressed and overwhelmed. So thank you, for Malu. And then we also have a second comment from her, and she commented, generation before just learn to adapt, to adjust, and to just keep going on. Thank you so much, Sister Lisa. And then we also have from Brother Henry, Sensioni commented, sometimes problems can be solved when the husband just buys or cooks the wife some barbecue meat and rice. Yes, I think that solves everything, food. Hashtag Heidelberg and hashtag Kaiserslautern. Thank you so much, Brother Henry. And then we also have another comment from Sister Annalene again. And she commented, I love taking care of my family and other people as well. Hashtag Berlin and hashtag Meissen. And also, again, from Sister Irene, we have another comment. She commented, as a first-time mom, I only have time for myself when Elijah is sleeping at the moment, but I have a supportive and loving husband, daddy, who really helps me a lot. Hashtag Berlin. Shoutouts to also the supportive husbands, to our strong mothers who are always there for them. Shout out to you. And yes, so we will continue with our topic conversation. And before we move on with our last question, we will, of course, introduce to you our favorite segment, which is German is Fun, or Deutsch macht Spaß, with our beloved Mrs. Malu. Viel Spaß!
German is fun. Deutsch macht Spaß. Hello everyone. Hallo zusammen. Welcome to German is fun. Willkommen zu Deutsch macht Spaß. I'm Marilu Francisco, bringing you another fun session of learning basic German. For today, we'll continue learning words and phrases that have to do with house cleaning. So welcome now to House Cleaning Part 2, Hausputz, Teil 2. German is fun. Deutsch macht Spaß. Meet our friend Chato from northern Germany. Actually, she comes from Bremen. She is in her living room. Living room in German, Wohnzimmer. Wohnzimmer. It's a neutral noun, so we say das Wohnzimmer. Chato ist im Wohnzimmer. For today, she'll be cleaning her living room. Chato wird heute das Wohnzimmer putzen. Chato wird heute das Wohnzimmer putzen. Putzen. Remember, that word putzen, it means to clean. Once again, say it please. Putzen. German is fun. Deutsch macht Spaß. Today, Chato will clean the windows. Window, Fenster. Fenster, a neutral noun in German, so das Fenster. Windows, the same form, Fenster. Chato wird heute die Fenster putzen. Can you guess what it means? You're right again. Chato will clean the windows today. To clean the windows, Fenster putzen. Fenster putzen. Chato will clean the windows today. Chato wird heute die Fenster putzen. One more time. Chato wird heute die Fenster putzen. Congratulations, you did it again. You don't have to perfect it right now. What's important?
yes, you're helping new moms on how to really handle those challenging um, days, right? For those who are really struggling or don't know what to do, right? This is a very new experience, but like you both have mentioned, that it's very important to, of course, seek God's help first and also put your trust in Him at all times. So thank you so much for sharing your piece of advices that you would give to the new moms or moms to be, right? And shout out to all of our lovely, beautiful mothers who are always there for us and who help us feel, who show us the love that we need, right? And yes, we hope that you feel supported and also understood. And yes, always, of course, seek God first in your prayers. And yes, so thank you so much for being with us here, Mrs. Malu and Mrs. And Rachel. And of course, we would like to announce our winners from our last week's challenge, our top 3 clusters. So let's reveal the winners.
Third place, Heidelberg Cluster. Second place, Frankfurt Cluster. First place, Berlin Cluster.
Congratulations to all of the top 3 clusters who have won last week's challenge, and also for Berlin Cluster for winning first place. We congratulate you, and we hope that for those who have not won last week's challenge, that you commented in today's broadcast, and that you win, of course, this week's challenge next week. And yes, so once again, thank you so much to our dear panelists for joining us this evening. And of course, we would like to give you the chance to give a real quick shout outs to your family or to your friends. So let's start with Mrs. Malu.
Okay. Well, of course, once again, thank you so much for having me. And I'd like to say hello to Sister Chato Natividad, to Brother Warley Natividad over there in Bremen. And thank you so much for all the help for our German is fun. Thank you for the pictures. And to all new mothers and to would-be mothers, okay, enjoy motherhood. It is a different kind of journey, but you will surely enjoy it. Couple it with love, of course. Just like anything that you do out of love, you will have this journey too as an enjoyable journey in life. Okay, thanks everyone, and hello to all the brethren in Central Europe.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Malu, for being with us here tonight. And of course, we would like to give Rachel also the stage and let you give your shout outs to your family or also to your friends.
I just want to shout out to my husband and my children who is also supporting me on the other side of this wall, including my very own cluster, Heidelberg Cluster, and shout out to my families in Hawaii and in the Philippines. Thank you for having me tonight.
Thank you so much for being with us here tonight, Rachel. And also, again, Mrs. Malu, thank you so much for sharing your experiences. We're always happy to have you here. And hopefully, we'll see you also in our future INC broadcasts. And of course, we would like to thank our dear viewers and listeners for watching and also actively participating in our YouTube live chat. Thank you so much. And also to our new moms, our moms to be, just remember you're doing an amazing job, and shout out to all of you, of course. And yes, we would also like to, of course, thank our district CFO advisor, Brother Scott Augustine, our assistant district minister, Brother Jason Dulalas, and thank you to our district minister, Brother Joel B. Catalan. Thank you also to our INC Media Productions Chief, Brother Montrevel Boy, and to our INC radio station manager, Brother Wally Torre. Thank you so much, Paul. And also thank you, of course, to our CFO coordinator and CEBSI president, Brother Angelo Eranio Manalo. And most importantly, we would like to thank the church administration and our beloved executive minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo. Thank you so much, Paul. This has been INC Radio Central Europe Satellite Studio. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see each other next week. Bye.
This is INC Radio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo.